What's going on, everyone? Now, before I get into why Roland Martin owes Ice Cube an apology, I first want to get into this. Why was Ice Cube out there pretty much talking to Joe Biden, talking to Trump? Actually, he didn't talk to Joe Biden because Joe Biden's team didn't want to talk to him. They said wait till after the election. You know, something that Roland Martin actually freaking promoted. He was telling us to wait till after the election, wait till after we're in office. We're not going to give you any promises. You need to wait till after we win in order to pretty much get anything. When we all know that's not how business works. Roland Martin himself knows that's not how business works. Now, I want to play this video because it actually speaks on some of the issues that Ice Cube was trying to talk about. And I want to give a shout out to Fox News because they actually platformed him to pretty much, I don't care what motives they had behind platforming him or if they, well, I'm pretty sure they did have motives, but whatever it is, that doesn't matter. But he actually speaks to some of the issues, what Ice Cube was actually complaining about and with his contract with Black America. And he, well, not complaining about, I don't want to say that, he actually speaks to some of the issues that Ice Cube was talking about in the contract with Black America. And one team wanted to meet with Ice Cube, the other team didn't want to meet with Ice Cube. In fact, instead of meeting with Ice Cube, they actually sent their henchmen out, like Roland Martin, out to attack Ice Cube. Roland Martin himself hosted Ice Cube on his channel just to attack him, bringing up other issues, talking about what the Congressional Black Caucus have been doing for us. But when Ice Cube came back with data and statistics and facts, Roland Martin, that's when these Democrats, they hate data, statistics, and facts when it goes against their narrative. And Roland Martin is a prime example. So let me play this video for you guys, and I'm going to play a segment of this, and we're going to get right back into it.
But we also have to take care of those at home. $50 billion to Ukraine, and we continue to help other parts of the world, but we haven't taken care of American farmers. Black farmers have a measure that we've been waiting for over a year and a half for $5 billion. We have to do better at taking care of America's farmers and taking care of those American people first. It's the whole issue here. And the Biden administration isn't moving and acting swiftly enough to address the farm crisis. So yes, we have the issues with climate change, but we also have a farm crisis that we're not putting first and taking care of. So you have the high cost of fuel, the high cost of fertilizer and lime, and all of these upfront costs for America's farmers, and we haven't done anything in place to fix that. So as these things continue to roll out, we're going to lose more and more farmers by not acting. We're heading for a food shortage in this country, where you have different regions of the world, such as Ukraine, and that won't be producing enough of America's, enough commodities there, right, such as corn, wheat, and soybeans. All of these things are going to affect us here home, and we're going to see empty food shelves in the coming months.
John, you mentioned the cost.
Okay, so we all just heard what he was just saying right there in that segment on Fox News. Shout out to them again for platforming this guy. So he pretty much is saying, instead of focusing on what's going on around the world, you know, they're giving so much money to Ukraine. As you guys know, this video is actually from 10 months ago. They have been giving more and more money to Ukraine and not have been helping the people at home. Now, as what he said, it came to pass because we had fuel spikes. We had prices in our grocery, they spiked up, and other, you know, living costs spiked up during the time. And at the same time, we're giving so much money to other people, Ukraine, pretty much all this money going to, you know, pretty much migrants coming over here. And the farmers are suffering. Now, we're going to stay specifically on the farmer. I'm not going to talk about the consumers because at the end of the day, the farmers, products are for the consumers, but the consumers are, of course, going to be affected. But let's talk about the farmers. The farmers, as he was saying, black farmers, they're pretty much being ignored when it comes to the banking system, and they're not getting the aid that they were guaranteed by Joe Biden. We're talking about specifically by black farmers. When he was campaigning, he promised black farmers something. Now, as it goes for all farmers are experiencing the same thing. They're pretty much getting hit over the head with the fuel prices and all these other costs. So they need the extra benefits or the extra grant money in order to produce their pretty much produce their products, and they produce their products to sell to the market. That way they can recoup and pay off their loans. Now, specifically when it comes to this guy, what I'm talking about him for is because Joe Biden made some promises to the black farmers, and he did not fulfill those promises. In fact, he was pretty much saying that we're going to leave it up to the courts. Now, when it comes to Ukraine, they're not going to leave it up to the courts. When it comes to the migrant issue, they're not going to leave it up to the courts. When it comes to all these other programs that doesn't really benefit us, and they just give free programs out to all these people, it doesn't benefit us. But when it has a group of people, farmers, that can actually do something to benefit us, all of a sudden we can't do anything. All of a sudden it's you need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. All of a sudden we don't have the money. And this goes into the topic of why I'm going to get into Roland Martin, who owes an apology. And he's not going to apologize, by the way, because he's a freaking coward. Roland Martin owes an apology to Ice Cube because this is one of the things that Ice Cube was talking about. Now, let's get into the Ice Cube situation. Ice Cube came out with a contract for Black America. Kamala Harris, she pretty much didn't meet with him. She promised a one-on-one meeting with him. She never gave him that meeting. She tried to group him in with the other group of guys. So it would have been Ice Cube and people like Snoop Dogg, DL Hughley. They all would have been on a phone call with her instead of just her and Ice Cube. She tried to lump all the black celebrities in one bucket. That way, pretty much it wasn't a serious topic. I don't think that not Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg can bring anything productive to a conversation when it comes to about politics. That's no disrespect to Snoop Dogg. I just haven't seen any takes from Snoop Dogg that's politically going to help the general public. Let's get into Roland Martin. Now, Roland Martin, like I said before, he was sent out by the Democratic Party to attack Ice Cube. And after he attacked Ice Cube on his show, which is what I saw it as an attack, he was invited to MSNBC. If once you pretty much do what the Democratic Party say, they throw you some biscuits, and now you get invited to MSNBC. So let's watch some of this MSNBC interview with Roland Martin. Now, before I even started talking, though, I just want you guys to look at that smirk on his goddamn face. Now he's smiling because he knew that he did this to Ice Cube. He attacked Ice Cube on his platform. Pretty much, he's smiling, giggling. He gets to platform his YouTube show on MSNBC because he went out there like a good dog and he attacked Ice Cube. Pretty much trying to push back on Ice Cube to make sure that Roland Martin can pretty much coattail black people to the Democratic Party instead of actually fighting for black issues. Now, Roland Martin is one of these people. He pretends to fight for black issue. He covers his black topics, but at the end of the day, he wants black people to go to Democrats because he knows that his paychecks are ultimately going to come from the Democratic Party. Now, this is the face that you have when you pretty much backstab somebody that came on your platform, Ice Cube in particular right now. Ice Cube came on his platform, he backstabbed him, he served the Democratic Party, and he did what he had to do for the Democratic Party. Pretty much what Roland Martin was trying to do is to make sure that black people stay on the Democratic Party plantation, as people call it. Make sure black people stay on the plantation. They don't pretty much think about politically who they're voting for, what's the objectives, what's the policies. Roland Martin, of course, is part of this vote blue no matter who gang. All roads lead back to the Democratic Party. So he pretty much invited Ice Cube on his platform. He attacked Ice Cube. He pretty much, I forgot who was that woman who nobody even knows anymore, was also on the platform, pretty much trying to attack Donald Trump at every angle, saying, why are you supporting Donald Trump? Like Ice Cube said, he didn't support Donald Trump. He met with the party, he met with the side that actually would meet with him. It's like when you're trying to sell a car, you're gonna meet with all buyers, right? Or you're gonna at least talk to all buyers. Now, Joe Biden, who believes that he's better than Ice Cube, and so does Kamala Harris, they didn't want to meet with Ice Cube. They actually tried to lump him in with, like I said in that meeting, they didn't respect the man to meet with him, so they sent Roland Martin, who Roland Martin came out there and pretty much attacked Ice Cube. Now, let's play some of this clip.
Roland Martin. Roland, thank you for being here. Look, we played that clip with Chris Cuomo. I know that you also sat down with Ice Cube. Give me your reaction when you heard about his partnership with the Trump campaign and the backlash. Do you think it was justified?
Well, first of all, I sat down with Ice Cube before Chris Cuomo. I had Ice Cube on my show a month and a half ago. Then I had him on the show Thursday. We had a 40-minute conversation. And we went through all these various issues. First of all, so he made it clear he's not working with the campaign. He did connect with the Biden campaign. And what he said to me was that they said, look, we agree with 85% of what you're saying. We'll connect with you after the election. Why? The Biden-Harris folks are saying we're not the ones who in power. And so Ice Cube, in my interview with him, he said that, the Trump folks committed to 500.
First of all, listen to what he just said. We're not the ones in power. Okay, you're getting into power and you want us to leverage our vote to get you into power. So yes, you do need to be making deals. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Roland Martin knows that statement right there was stupid, but he wants to pretty much try to sell it as legitimate. And also this Karen that's up there on the screen with him, she's up there nodding her head. she's pretty much nodding her head. You're going to see later she's nodding her head because yeah, she's like Roland Martin. That's right. He didn't want to meet with her. Yeah, we can't make you any promises. This is what these people do. They're trying to they're trying to pretty much dismantle Ice Cube argument with some nonsensical arguments. The fact that you're seeking power and you're going to be able to leverage the black vote if you get Ice Cube on your side to get that power was the ultimate goal. They're over here saying that, well, we're not in power. We can't make any promises. However, James Clyburn, Roland Martin, they were trying to get deals behind the scene before they got in the party, but before they got in power. Pretty much Roland Martin was saying, I will promote you on my show as long as I'm getting a check, as long as I'm getting a consulting gig. And this is what Roland Martin did. As we can see right now, Roland Martin leveraged his platform on YouTube to attack Ice Cube. Now he's on MSNBC, another Democratic plantation, another Democratic-owned plantation, to pretty much say, yeah, I attacked Ice Cube. I did this for you guys. He leveraged his position in order to, pretty much get opportunities later. That's why he's on MSNBC right now, because he pretty much attacked Ice Cube. He's showing his loyalty. He leveraged that position. But, I'm rambling right now, but you guys pretty much get what I'm saying.
Their so-called platinum. Alex, that's total BS. I went through the entire plan. This is a 2-page plan. So let's understand. Platinum plan is 2 pages. Lift Every Voice Biden Black America plan is 22 pages.
Now, this argument he makes a lot in this over a minute. He's trying to compare the freaking plans. He keeps saying that one plan is 2 pages, another plan is 22 pages. It doesn't matter. I know Roland Martin doesn't have a brain up there to think for, but it doesn't matter how long the freaking the contracts are. One's 22 pages, as he said, one's 2 pages. What matters is the details, pretty much.
Pages. And so the reality is that I said to Ice Cube, look, what they committed to, there's no commitment. There's nothing substantive behind it. And so I totally understand his point in terms of, yes, when you are in power, then African Americans still should be making demands of you. I've said that for years as well. Most African Americans living in the South are living under Republican legislatures. We understand that. The question is,
now, listen to what Roland Martin just said. Now, he said that most black people that live in the South, they live under Republican legislators. However, they live in Democratic-ran cities. Democratic-ran cities who offer contracts and other opportunities to organizations, companies, and all that to give people equal balance. Now, he's not going to lay any of this at Sylvester Turner in Houston, at the people who's running over there in Atlanta, at Dallas, all these Democratic-ran cities. See, he wants to completely ignore that and say, oh, well, they're Republican states. That's why you black people are suffering. If you had a Democratic-led pretty much governor, you'll be in a better position. That's a complete lie. Roland Martin knows it's a lie, but he has the pretty much tap dance for these ham hocks up here.
can you trust the folks who are doing it? Let's just be real. The Trump folks, all they wanted was Ice Cube's stamp of approval of saying he actually contributed to their platinum plan. They wanted the PR hit. They got the PR hit, and that's what they wanted.
So, Roland, when you point out with him, you know, a 2-page plan versus a 22-page plan, what's his reaction to that?
Well, what he said was, look, both.
Now, this intelligent Karen right here said, when you pointed out it was a 2-page plan versus a 22-page plan. What are you talking about? It doesn't matter how long the plans are. What are the details in the plans? I know she's stupid, but you can't be that damn stupid.
Both don't go far enough, which is true. But here's what I also said to him when he was on the last month. I said, Q, and we text today, we were texting before he was on and after. I said, you also got to have an infrastructure in place to then carry out what it is you want. So here's the deal. Let's say Biden Harris wins. Okay, then we have to, as A. Philip Randolph, when Franklin Delano Roosevelt told A. Philip Randolph, make me do it, Philip. We have to make them do it, which means you have to have an infrastructure in place of supporters. So one of the things that I said to him, I brought on Alicia Garza with Black Futures Lab, where they put together a Black Census project where they surveyed 30,000 African.
Now, Lisa Garza was a woman I was referring to earlier. Lisa Garza is the one, she came on there. Only thing she talked about was LGBTQIA topics. That's the only thing she talked about. And she pretty much said, oh, well, Trump attacked me. Don't you know that Trump attacked me? And she was trying to talk down Donald Trump. That's the only thing she did. Now, he's trying to sell her that she did a study of 30,000 people, but we don't know where these people were at. We don't know the locations. We don't know their age brackets. We don't know nothing about them. All we know is she supposedly, allegedly, did a 30,000 pretty much survey. We don't even know if some of them people double dipped in the survey. Like maybe somebody took the survey 5 times. We don't know if she herself took the survey. We don't know any of this information, but we have to believe her on face value because she supports the Democratic Party, pretty much.
Americans of what they wanted. I said, Cube, you should be partnering with her. Partnering with Tamika Mallory, Until Freedom, New York Justice League, Ted Poe, Million Hoodies March. There are a number of entities.
Now, he told Q to partner with all these organizations at that point in time. Remember, this is 2 years ago. He told Q to partner with all these organizations, Tamika Mallory, because they all roads lead back to the Democratic Party when it comes to these organizations. But there's a reason that the Democratic Party and the NAACP get along so well. It's because the NAACP, they never promote Republicans. They never promote third party candidates. The NAACP is owned and operated by Democratic Party members, period.
Have infrastructure, policy people, lobbyists to get it. So again, Ice Cube alone as a rapper actor making demands will not achieve it unless you have infrastructure to push the process through.
Absolutely. You got to roll up your sleeves and actually get the work done. So look, he said that he started all this. He wanted to see a greater emphasis on Black Americans, not just on, people of color or minorities. Right. How about either campaign? Do you think either one has spent enough time speaking directly to Black voters and addressing their concerns?
Well, first, the Trump campaign ain't wasting time with Black people. I mean, when you're putting out a minstrel show like Diamond and Silk, and you putting out.
Now, I want to go back, and this is 2 years earlier. What does Diamond and Silk have to do with the conversation? The Trump campaign met with Ice Cube. Joe Biden's campaign did not meet with Ice Cube. What is he talking about? See, this is why he owes Ice Cube an apology. See, now he's not even talking about the issue. She pretty much asked, are either campaign focused on Black issues? And he wants to immediately dismiss Trump. He wants to immediately dismiss Trump. So pretty much the Democrats are the only choice you have. This is pretty much what Roland Martin's selling point is. The Democrats are the only choice you Black folks have. This is his selling point. Not third party, not Republicans, the Democrats.
Clueless folks like Candace Owens and even that fool down in Georgia, Representative Vernon Jones, you're not serious about it. They won't come talk to Black people. Donald Trump has not spoken to any major Black organization. He only talked to African Americans who support him. He is not serious. The White House made it perfectly clear. Their only goal is to attract 20% of Black men. That's why they quickly want to meet with Ice Cube. That's why they.
Okay, so if they had a plan, okay, they want to attract Black men or whatever, the plan was. If they made promises, we know that Trump didn't get in, so we don't know what he would have done. But if they get made with these men, they understood the issues. They was trying to address the issues more than what Joe Biden has done. Remember, going back to the Black farmers, he did nothing for them, but he promised them something. He did nothing for them. Roland Martin actually had that Black farmer on his show, pretty much saying, "Oh yeah, Joe Biden will take care of you, yada yada yada." This is why we went to the Democrats. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Roland Martin is pretty much trying to throw out these people that Black people generally dislike, which is Diamond and Silk. R.I.P. to one of the sisters that passed. Candace Owens, Vernon Jones. I think Vernon Jones is a freaking idiot, my damn self. But he's throwing out these people specifically to confirm his bias against the Republican Party and to sell you the Democratic Party.
Talking to Kanye West. That's why they're talking to other people. Now, the Biden campaign, they've had more outreach towards African Americans, but I've made it clear to them they're doing more as well. You're looking at polling data showing the Black male that Trump is getting and certain candidates are getting in Michigan and North Carolina do more. I said, look, Black people, Democrats cannot win without Black people. So what you must do is you must court them, you must drive money to Black media outlets, you must approach them to do more.
Now I don't want that to slip by. Don't let that slip by right there. He said you must drive money to Black media. You must drive money to Black media. Who is he talking about? He's talking about himself. You must drive money to Roland Martin Uncensored. That's what he's talking about. He's been on this whole. If you actually watch this platform, which I don't that much, but I watch the op just to see what they're talking about. Roland Martin has pretty much he's been trying to get consulting gigs with the Democratic Party, talking about black media. He talks about black media, but what he's really talking about is Roland Martin. Now, I understand that, black media is not getting the attention that it needs to be getting. They're not getting the funding that they do. But Roland Martin doesn't care about you niggas. I'm sorry to tell you this. It's about Roland Martin at the end of the day. He's been on his campaign. Remember, he lost his job at CNN or whatever because of that crap he pulled with that 2016 election when he was giving somebody the questions that they're going to be answered. One of the presidential candidates. We already know which one. I'm not going to say it on here. I don't want to get banned. Yeah, but we already know who he was trying to help.
And that's how you actually do it. But you got to push them to do it.
But let me ask you, based on everything you're saying, why is it that the Trump campaign is doubling its support with black men over black women?
And there goes the gender divide game.
We should note that typically black women are the ones who will actually go to the polls. They'll stand in line. Not that black men don't, but women do it in a far greater number. So is it that Trump's picking up the black male vote?
Because it's not just Donald Trump. In 2012, there was a 9-point gap between black men and black women for Obama Romney. There was a 13-point gap between black men and black women for Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And so the Trump people think they can push it to 20%. This is a Democratic Party issue because you have a lot of black men. You have black men out there. When I say a lot, I'm talking about the percentages here because the vast majority of black men are supportive of these policies. But these are black men who are disaffected. These are black men who say they believe that Democrats are too supportive of immigration efforts. Look, when Donald Trump talks about building the wall, this 15 to 20% of black men that appeals to them. Also, when he's talking about economic policies. And so I said to Democrats back in 2012, you got a problem. It started in 2016. Tom Perez is aware of the problem as well. But what they have to do is they have to be serious about saying, wait a minute, we've got to compete after every vote. And this is very simple. If Democrats keep going after disaffected white women who vote for Republicans, well, you better go after disaffected black men as well, which means listening to.
All right, so I'm not going to finish this whole video. Pretty much, I'm going to leave the link in the description. But Roland Martin, he's pretty much saying you need to go after disaffected black people because his only audience is black people, pretty much. White people ain't listening to Roland Martin. Thank God they're not, because this guy's an idiot. He's pretty much somebody who's backstabbing. He doesn't even care about his own people, the Haitian immigrants who actually got kicked out of the country by his Lord and Savior, Joe Biden. He doesn't care about nobody. And his whole operation over there at the Roland Martin Unfiltered Center is pretty much a Democratic ran operation. He pretty much wants to make sure that black people continue to go to the Democratic Party. Now, I could break down this video a little bit more, but I'm actually not because I think I pretty much got my point out that Roland Martin owes Ice Cube an apology because Roland Martin is the guy that pretty much invited Ice Cube into his on his platform, attacked Ice Cube, pretty much to get Ice Cube try to discredit Ice Cube in order to promote Joe Biden. That was his whole point of inviting Ice Cube on there. Now you see him on this platform because this is after he attacked Ice Cube on his own platform to pretty much get black people to say, don't listen to Ice Cube, he's just a rapper. Don't listen to Ice Cube, he's nobody. And I find this very disgusting because Roland Martin had the opportunity to pretty much listen to Ice Cube issues, listen to the issues that he brought up with the Congressional Black Caucus and all these other things that black people has pretty much stagnated. They haven't had the progression that they should have been having. And at the same time, we have the Congressional Black Caucus supporting issues that doesn't support us. And this is a big problem with the Congressional Black Caucus. But getting back to Roland Martin's entire job, no matter, I don't care if it's one door or 100 doors, all doors lead back to the Democratic Party because Roland Martin understands that he needs to serve up the black community to the Democratic Party because he's going to get paid by the Democrats. The Republicans aren't going to pay him, and there's no great third party to pay him. His job is to make sure that he gets paid by serving up black people to the black community. Roland Martin, you owe Ice Cube an apology. I think you're frankly disgusting. Personally, I think you a POS. I think you're showing. But that's just my opinion of you. I mean, I think that you've been doing this for the longest, where you're just supporting one party. You don't look out for the interests of black people. You look out for the interests of Roland Martin. You cover black issues because this is the only audience that will actually listen to the verbiage that's coming out of your mouth. I think you should be ashamed of yourself. But that's just my opinion at the end of the day. You guys let me know how you feel at the end of the day about Roland Martin. Does he owe Ice Cube an apology? Should black people talk to Republicans, third parties, and other people? Or should we be on the Democratic plantation?